raping people's daughters. Imagine with a checkpoint, we see the human being score like this. Then they say that when you pass, you pass with the warning. Then a woman coming with pregnancy. Two of them will stand up and they say, that woman, the child has that in my stomach. That boy child. The other man say, no, that girl child. Okay, they open his stomach. They will kill the woman and open his stomach. You will say, girl child, you win. What is that? Decent life here? Are we living good life? All right, my children. Well, we swear to people that do that. And so, before I launch this, I will make the recommendation to the government. This government, we're calling on this government, Unity Party government, that this government must ensure that every Liberian, including the president himself, they should respect the rule of law. The president, the security people, the so-called majority rule and minority bloc, the senator, all must respect the rule of law so that there will be peace in this society. In the absence of that, start running away from here one day. And two, those who involve in ritualistic killing and other killing to take human power for power, the security force should look for them. Look for them because I can remember when they ever carry anybody to go for ritualistic killing, taking human parts. Go to the security force to look for them. And the last recommendation, we noticed that at night, the police, the joint security are not patrolling because no support. They are handicapped, no money for them. While people are they divided money for 3,000 our people are suffering. The police that were depending on no protection because they don't have the means to go out in the night. You wouldn't see them in the day, but you can't see them in the night. So, by the power vested in me by the act that established the Independent National Human Rights Commission, I hereby declare to this date as our day to launch our human rights report. And I hereby launch it today. And our donors, and each embassy will receive copy of this human rights situation report. I can remember last year, as we sent out our report, the State Department of the United was directed. And I know this year will happen. And I hope, I want to give them warning that if anybody is sanctioned, we are not responsible. Because I know sanction coming on the way. That will be sanctioned. So if they sanction you, open your ear and don't let you on the line. Any government official that receives sanction, the Human Rights Commission is not responsible that you added to.
Thank you, Chairperson Brown. And like the Chairperson have said, we will share the reports with all of our partners, our international and local partners, so do bear with us. Okay, so if you still have your agenda in your hand, the next activity is message from the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. And we now call on Mr. Christian Makusa, country representative for the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights.
Thank you, Joseph. My name is Christian Munkos.
Well, good afternoon, good
Honorable
evening. We are here
Deputy Minister of
bring you
Justice,
a live coverage of the Poor
Your Honor,
Human Rights Day.
Judge
This is Ku-Wor TV. Please like and share.
Chair of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, Doyen, Vice President of the University of Liberia in charge of academic affairs, UN colleagues, our own RC, media, dear students, distinguished guests. I'm going to read the statement made this morning by our High Commissioner, the High Commissioner of the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights. So the message I'm going to read now is from him. Today, as we mark the Human Rights Day, I want to focus on what our rights mean. Human rights are about people. They're about you and your rights. They're about you and your life, your needs and wants and fears, your hopes for the present and the future, a safe home, food and water, healthcare, education, decent work, and a livable minimum wage to live in peace, to be free to express yourself, to be free to express your opinions. They are your human rights. They're about who we are and how we live. They are the legal commitments all states, including Liberia, have made to serve their people. Human rights are not abstract, are not ideologies up for debate in an elite club. Human rights are for the single mother who is working 3 jobs, putting their children through school. They are for the child crying for help buried under rubble of his home, indeed the case in some countries in the world. They are for the poet who is in prison for a verse that he put in his poetry, just for criticizing authorities. Without end, they are for communities living in land poisoned by chemicals. They are for young people who can't afford a home, and for workers who are left without work, without job. Human rights don't belong to any political party or to any region of the world. They belong to all of us, to everyone, to you. Today, there are those who are trying to discredit human rights. They redefine and undermine our fundamental rights and our fundamental freedoms. This is politics, and I understand why. Human rights are simple, powerful ideas that motivate everyone, all of us here. So they pose no threat to anybody, not populists, not authoritarian rulers of all kinds. Previous generations fought and even died for human rights. The right to vote, the right to protest, the right to work, and equal pay for men and women. And they want to be seen, they want to be heard and counted. Our humanity is robust. When faced with the greatest obstacles, people transcend their differences and overcome them. Today, at another precarious moment for our world, many of you are doing the same on climate, on women's rights, on youth rights. and on peace. The full promises of human rights is still to be fulfilled. The evidence is everywhere. So, I urge you to stay the course, mobilize, use your voices to vote, reach out to connect, build strong social movements that stand for everyone's rights. You should also call on your leaders to work for equality, justice, peace, and all your human rights on this Human Rights Day. I stand with you to uphold the human rights of everyone, every day. And again, the theme of this year's Human Rights Day is, can you please repeat it all together? I didn't get it. Are we right? Are we future right now? Okay, thank you again for listening to me, and have a good Human Rights Day.
Oh, that's the Human Rights Day today. And of course,
Thank you, sir,
the Independent
for
National Commission on
delivering the
Human Rights,
message from the UN
Josephine
High
Obodu,
Commissioner
who is the
for Human Rights. Well, if you look on the agenda, we're supposed to have a dance performance, but due to time, we're going to skip that and call on the special, we'll take a special statement of the UNSG, now done by N. Christine Umutuni, the UN Resident Coordinator, Liberia. Please.
UN Representative Madam Omotoni, who addressed the participant here on the Human Rights Day.
Good afternoon. I would like to recognize the platform guests and for me to stand on existing protocols. And it's my honor and privilege to read the UN Secretary General's message for today. And I quote, "On Human Rights Day, we face a harsh truth. Human rights are under assault. Tens of millions of people are marred in poverty, hunger, poor health, and education systems that have not yet fully recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic. Global inequalities are running rampant. Conflicts are intensifying. International law is willfully ignored. Authoritarianism is on the march while civic space is shrinking. Hateful rhetoric is fueling discrimination, division, and outright violence. And women's rights continue to be rolled back in law and practice. This year's theme reminds us that human rights are about building the future right now. All human rights are indivisible, whether economic, social, civic, cultural, or political. When one right is undermined, all rights are undermined. We must stand up for all rights always. Healing divisions and building peace, tackling the scourge of poverty and hunger, ensuring health care and education for all, advancing justice and quality for women, girls, and minorities, standing up for democracy, press freedom, and workers' rights, promoting the right to safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment, and defending human. The recently adopted Pact for the Future reinforce the world's commitment to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. On this important day, let us protect, defend, and uphold all human rights for all people. End of quote. And just to add on this on my own, we started in the morning a bit on a sad note with a drama piece. And what is very sad is that it's not drama, it's real life. You know, what is happening. I wish it was a piece of drama, but it's true that young girls leave their home and come and live with their stepdad or their uncle or someone, and they end up being raped in that home. And then it's covered up, you know. The father wants to say that it's another person who has killed. What I liked about this drama is that at least justice was served. In many cases, people don't see any of that justice. But what is so sad is that that girl's life is no more, you know. So it was really sad to see that. But I think when the young boys were playing and exciting us, and is it sports or dance or whatever they did, lifted up my hope. And I said, okay, all is not lost. We have some young people, energetic, positive looking, you know, who are going to carry the future forward. Yesterday, we had one UN event on the 16 days of activism. And I think it was Comfort who said, okay, 16 days are coming to an end, but what happens on the 17th day? So today, on International Human Rights Day, we are reminded that the struggle continues, that we must continue to fight, and it's a long-term endeavor, but it's doable. The chairperson of the INCHR just talked about rape. What happens in someone's mind when you're raping a 2-year-old, when you kill your own loved ones, when you're doing all those crazy things? So as much as we have these days for awareness, I think we need to raise up to action. The thing is that when we have it in our mind that is a crisis, we do take action. We took action for Ebola, we took action for COVID. We just need to know that these human rights abuses are an epidemic, they are a pandemic. It's urgent. We just have to bring that sense of urgency on topics like that and handle them with the urgency that is required. I know we can overcome, we can really build a society with proper systems, respecting human rights. We just need to take action and know that it's a crisis, it's a pandemic, it's like a war. We have to join all our forces to fight this war, because actually it is a whole of society approach, it's a whole of all partners. If you see all of us here, it's whole of government, civil society, it's everybody's job to stand up and act. I know we can, we have to still stay hopeful, and I thank you very much, wishing you the best for the International Human Rights Day. Thank you.
That's the UN representative to Liberia.
Thank you very much, Madam Mutoni. Now, we have special statement from the Minister of Justice, INCHR, Minister of Justice and Chairman, National Human Rights Action Plan Steering Committee. Representing him is Councillor Ku-Wor Honua, Deputy Minister for Codification, Ministry of Justice. You are welcome, Minister.
Good afternoon. Whilst I bring you greetings from Councillor Oscar, Minister of Justice, Attorney General, Republic of Liberia. Statement by Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia on the occasion of International Human Rights Day on today. It is with great honor and deep sense of responsibility that I stand before you today to mark International Human Rights Day under the global theme, Our Rights, Our Future, Right Now. This day serves as a reminder to us all of the universal dignity of every human being and the inalienable rights we are entitled to as individuals, regardless of our nationality, ethnicity, social or religious standing. As we reflect on this year's theme, we are reminded of the crucial link between human rights and our shared future. We must remember that a protection of human rights is not only a moral obligation, but also a fundamental pillar for the peace, stability, and development of any nation. Liberia, in its ongoing journey for post-conflict recovery and nation building, remains committed to ensuring that human rights are enshrined in our laws, respected in our institutions, and upheld in every facet of our society. The government of Liberia, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, has made significant strides in strengthening the human rights framework within the country. We continue to work closely with our partners, including the One UN Family and the Independent National Commissions on Human Rights, to ensure that all Liberians, especially vulnerable groups such as women, children, and minorities, can enjoy their rights to life, liberty, and security free from the discrimination and violence. Today, as we celebrate our achievements and acknowledge the work that lies ahead, let us renew our collective commitment to building a future where human rights are not just celebrated on one day, but integrated into the very fabric of our daily lives. Our collective responsibility is to ensure that the rights of all are protected, and that our efforts today contribute to the stronger, more just Liberia for generations to come. I thank you for all your continued support and dedication to the cause of human rights, and I look forward to working together to realize a future where every Liberian can say with pride, our rights, our future. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much, Minister. And like my colleague earlier said, because of time, we will skip the dance performances that will be done almost at the end of the program. But to introduce the keynote speaker for today's occasion, the Human Rights Portrait Competition, Category 2, the high school, the first runner-up,